You guys, it is now dusk in the cemetery, so you know what that means. It's time for Spooky Tales here with Queen Tia, where we talk all things ghost huntings and mysteries from the beyond. I'm your host, Talisa, aka Queen Tia, and we're going to jump right into this ghost story, as this ghost story hits a little bit close to home. So let's get started. Like any old good ghost story, this ghost story actually starts with the family moving into a new home. Let me take you back to September of 2021. My mom moves into her new apartment. All is right with the world because she's finally out of my apartment. We're overly ecstatic. This is at the end of COVID-19, and she was able to secure herself a home that was affordable in a nice new semi-luxury apartment that was less than about 5 years old. New appliances, nice balcony, the works. We were super excited. Shortly after my mom moved in though, weird stuff started to happen. And it led to a lot of arguments between me and my mom would come to me saying weird things like, "Talisa, why did you move my jewelry? I like to leave all my rings on my nightstand so I know where to find them. Those rings are very important to me. Your brother and your sisters and you guys got me those rings, and I want to keep up with them, so I leave them on a nightstand. Please don't touch my rings." To which I'm like, "Mom, I'm not just going in your room and moving your jewelry around. Why would I take your rings off your nightstand? Like, I'm not just going to your house and touching your stuff." Then she would say things like, "Talisa, please make sure you turn off the TV when you leave my house. Don't just leave my TV going. I like all my appliances and all of my electronics turned off when I'm gone so my energy bill isn't so high." And I'm like, Mom, I'm a 31-year-old woman. What do I look like just leaving your TV on? I know better. I'm not leaving your TV on. It is like a $50 TV we got from the pawn shop. Maybe it's just a little faulty. Maybe it's just a little glitchy. And that's why the TV just randomly turns on." To which my mom says, "Maybe you're right." We go on having little arguments like this for quite some time, until it got to a point where I kind of just didn't come over as often. And then one night, she calls me and my sisters and my brother frantic. When I say frantic, she's crying, she's bawling. I'm thinking something horrible has happened. Like, what's wrong, Mom? What's going on? Why are you calling me crying like this in the middle of the night? She's frantic, hysterically crying, and she goes, "People are watching me. They're looking at me through the ceiling fan. I'm telling you, Talisa, they're looking at me through the ceiling fan. I can see them." And I'm just thinking, oh my God, all those years of partying in the 90s have finally caught up with her. She's losing her mind. Not only has she been accusing me of moving her stuff around and leaving her TV on, but now she says people are looking at her through the ceiling fan. I'm like, okay, Mom, call the cops. If someone's looking at you through the ceiling fan, like, I don't know what to do about that over the phone. Like, why aren't you calling the police if someone's in your house? "No, I got up and looked, but no one's here." "So no one's in the house?" No one's in here." I'm like, oh, okay, Mom. Like, something don't sound right here. Like, I don't know what to say. Something's going on. After getting several phone calls from her like that, frantically saying someone's coming into her house, I go ahead and suggest, "Mom, go ahead and change the locks. Maybe one of the maintenance people is sneaking in there and messing with stuff and not telling you. You should just go ahead and change the locks and not give the office the new key." So she does. Problem solved, right? No. She calls me still complaining that someone's coming into her house. Someone's touching stuff. Someone's moving her things. Someone's messing with her. She's not crazy, she insists. "Talisa, I'm not crazy. Someone is coming in here. Someone is moving my things." Now with every phone call, she's sounding more and more frantic. "Talisa, people are coming into my apartment and moving my stuff around. Someone's coming in here when I'm gone and they're touching my things. I don't know who it is, but they're doing it. Someone's coming into my house. Someone's watching me. They know when I leave my house, and then they come into my house and they move my things. Someone is watching me." To which I say, Ma, who would just come into your house and move your things around? Like, what sense does that make? Ma, who is watching you? Why would anybody be watching you? Why would anybody do that? Like, what is going on? Are you okay? I'm worried about you. I really, really am worried about you, Ma. I think you need to go see somebody. Then one day she calls me and she's like, Talisa, this time I've got it. I know for sure someone's been coming in here, because this time they came in my house, but I was here and they heard I was here and they hurry up and they left. I said, huh, Ma? Explain this to me. She said, I was sitting in my bedroom with my door closed, and then all of a sudden I started hearing voices out in the living room. So I yelled, who is that? Who's in here? I'm in here. Get out of my house. And as soon as she said, get out of my house, she heard a few things slam, a couple of loud slams, and then one final slam that she thought was the door. So she came out of her room to investigate after all the noise had stopped, and she thought whoever was in there had finally left. With there being no signs of forced entry, I'm like, Mom, did you check the attic? I've heard of homeless people breaking in through the attic and living in the attic and then coming down from the attic when they think no one's home. Do you think that it could possibly be that? Maybe check the attic. She does, but there's no signs that anyone has been up there besides her. Order that she needed to seek professional help about. But she kept insisting to me, Talisa, I'm not crazy. I've changed my locks now 3 times, but someone keeps getting in here. I know where I leave my stuff. I know where I leave my things. Someone's coming in here. I say, okay, Mom, why don't you get you some security cameras? Let's get you some house cameras. Let's set them up. Maybe we can capture whoever this is on camera. So then she does that, and we get the first video that I show you guys here. All right, so she sets up the first camera, as you guys can see. Someone clearly knocked that camera over. Clearly knocked it over, and you can hear a voice in the background that sounds like he's saying John something. We looked up all the names that we thought it could be, but couldn't figure out exactly who it is. So then my mom decides to move the camera, put it in her room, behind her door, where the person can't see the camera. And once they come through the door, boom, we've got them. And that's when we get this very creepy video that I showed you guys in the beginning. Let's watch that video again together. It was at that moment, after watching this footage here, that I said to my mom, do you think you're being hunted? And this is where I'm going to go ahead and show you guys exactly where my mom's new apartment is, just so you can get why we think that she's actually being hunted. And if you're wondering what cemetery I'm in, don't worry, I'm going to be doing a video on this cemetery on my page, so be looking for that. I'm going to take a cemetery tour. So here's a map of Aurora, Colorado. My mom lived here at the Fitzsimmons at Lehman, which are right next to Mount Nebo Memorial Park and Cemetery. This cemetery was founded in 1898 and was incorporated in 1904, so it's been around for a very long time. Now, there is no evidence that suggests that the apartments are built on top of the cemetery. However, I will say that this land, at one point in time, as far as we all knew, was owned by the cemetery. I cannot find any state records that show that the cemetery did sell any land to these developers. However, it would not be the first cemetery in Colorado's history to sell land to developers and have unmarked graves there.
Stay tuned while I'll be doing a video on the historic Washington Park, which is in Denver, Colorado, that is built on top of unmarked graves, and the neighbors and the people in the neighborhood constantly complain about being hunted. I'll be doing more scary stories like this, so if you like this one, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you guys enjoyed this story and didn't get too scared. Until next time, bye-bye.